and we were standing there by the Dow Tex building. Now, ladies and gentlemen, real quickly, this man right here, ladies and gentlemen, that man right there, he was the greatest witness to the Kennedy assassination because he was just to the left of the limousine on his motorcycle. His name was Officer B.W. Hargis. That's him right there on that motorcycle. And Officer Hargis, ladies and gentlemen, was splattered with the blood. The blood went back and hit him in the face, just drenched him. Where you see the lamppost over there where those people are standing, that's where the back of President Kennedy's skull landed. The big piece of skull, the occipital bone. And Miss Kennedy crawled out on the trunk and she picked up the big piece of brain. So with those three factors happening and everybody seeing the puff of smoke right here and hearing the last shot, and everybody saw the skull go through the air. But ladies and gentlemen, just 1 millimeter of a second before the two headshots hit the president, Mr. James Tegg was standing right over there across the street. And Mr. Tegg was shot in the face. The bullet hit him right there. He's the third man that was shot here that day because Texas Governor John Connally was also shot. I saw it all live. We all ran up here, ladies and gentlemen, and right where you see that gentleman in the blue shirt there, right there on the other side of the fence, that's where the two men were with the Secret Service badges proclaiming to be Secret Service agents. They were right there. About a foot down from this vehicle right here was a man in a white shirt and black pants. Had a gun on him, it was in his holster, he didn't have it in his hand. You can see one badge here, and then he had another badge up here. He was proclaiming to be an FBI agent. And then down at the very end of the fence was a man in a brown suit. He too had Secret Service badges. Ladies and gentlemen, that window right there, that building right there, the old railroad tower, that building with the red roof, that's where Mr. Lee Bowers was. Mr. Bowers was in that window, and by him being 18 feet above the ground, he had a perfect view over here. And Mr. Bowers and some 24 of the witnesses out of the 56 that were back here who were looking this away, they physically actually saw these two men shooting. You must remember, ladies and gentlemen, by August of 1966, including Mr. Bowers, by August of 66, 27 critical witnesses to the Kennedy assassination was what?
Dead.
That's right, man. They were all murdered. I remember it very well. Never will forget it. Been in Dallas all my life and was here that day. So with all the witnesses coming up dead, many people were threatened, and then Lyndon Johnson, the new president, he signed into effect that the Kennedy files could not be released for 75 years because they all helped to cover it up. Johnson, Nixon, Hoover, Bush. And so that's why the Kennedy files, we won't see them until 2039. I won't see them because I won't be alive, but some of you that are younger will certainly see that if they release them. I don't think they'll ever tell the truth because they're not going to admit that the United States government was part of John Kennedy's assassination. I'll tell one other thing, ladies and gentlemen, then I'm through. It'll take me about 30 seconds and I'll be through. I want you to look at that man right there. And that's how he looks today. That's how he looks right now. That man right there. But on the day of the assassination, ladies and gentlemen, that's him right there. Same man. This picture was taken 3 weeks before the assassination. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Files was here on November the 20th, last month, the anniversary. He was here on the 20th, 2 days before the 53rd anniversary. His release date, as you can see, was May the 6th. He was released from Statesville Prison. This is from the FBI. And Mr. Files, ladies and gentlemen, in 1964, April, he admitted that he was the man who fired the last shot from right here. And he was. He fired that shot. He had a Remington 222 XP100 fireball pistol. Big old pistol with a telescopic sight. Shoots one time. And he fired the fatal headshot from right here. He was standing right here. Had the gun on the fence. And he fired that shot. And the bullet entered President Kennedy's head right there. and he's still living. He was here, and he always said that if he lived to get out of prison for killing the 3 Chicago police officers, well, he's out. They let him out due to his health convictions today. And he is on parole, but ladies and gentlemen, he's in very, very bad health. When he came here, there were about 4 FBI agents with him and several Dallas police in November last year.
What's his name?
James Files, Files. Thank you, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, last thing also, and some of you may know this because you probably heard it, but if you don't, I'll tell you real quick. I want you to look at the guy in the white shirt there. That guy right there in the white shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, his name was Charles Boyd, B-O-Y-D, Harrelson. Charles Harrelson was his name. He died April the 16th, 2007 at the Federal Penitentiary in Greeley, Colorado. That's when he died. On August the 23rd, 1979, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harrelson shot and assassinated United States federal judge John Wood. He killed that judge in San Antonio, Texas, August 23rd, 1979. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Harrelson, that man in the white shirt, in his lifetime, he killed 42 people. Everybody in America knows that. He killed 42 people in his lifetime. Charles Hitman Harrelson. Now, some of you may not have known who Charles Harrelson was, but every one of you know his son. Everybody knows his son. Who'd you say?
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson. And ladies and gentlemen, last month on the anniversary, as he's been here many times, Woody Harrelson was right here November the 22nd last month. And he talks about the fact that his father, Charles Hitman Harrelson, was one of the 2 gunmen on the grassy knoll. That's been known for years, and he was. Ladies and gentlemen, Lee Harvey Oswald. The man was a patsy. He fired no shots from that window. He had nothing to do with the shooting. Was Oswald involved in the conspiracy of the assassination? Most definitely. Did he know they were going to kill the president? Yes. Did Oswald fire any shots from that window? No. Now, what was Oswald arrested for that day? What crime was he arrested for and charged with that day? That's right, sir. 43 minutes after President Kennedy was shot there, 5.2 miles from here over on 10th and Patton in Oak Cliff, as this gentleman just said, Lee Harvey Oswald allegedly shot and killed Officer J.D. Tippit, a Dallas police officer. But one thing I can tell you this, whether he shot him or not, they damn sure knowed each other. They had known each other for quite some time, Oswald and Tippit and Jack Ruby. All 3 of them knew each other. If Oswald shot Officer Tippit, if he did shoot him, which I believe he did, Mr. Grodin says he didn't. Everybody got their opinion. Some members of the government say Oswald didn't shoot Tippit or the president. Some say he did, some are split. The only reason I say that Oswald shot Officer Tippit was supposed to kill Oswald. Ladies and gentlemen, if Officer Tippit had shot Oswald and killed him, then the paper would have read, Dallas policeman kills man who shoots president. End of story. But it didn't turn out that way because Jack Ruby sent Tippit to kill Oswald. But what Tippit didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, when Oswald left the book depository, he went to his rooming house in Oak Cliff and got his .38 revolver. Tippit had no way of knowing that. So when Tippit overtook him to kill him, the ultimate surprise. Shot him. So that Sunday morning, ladies and gentlemen, after Tippit didn't get the job done, Jack Ruby finished it on national TV. And I'll never forget that either. Oh, real quickly, ladies and gentlemen, this man right here. And you can see that fence right there. We took this picture here on November the 22nd last month. That's Dr. Cyril Wick. And Dr. Wick was at the autopsy of President Kennedy. He was young then, 32 years old. And he was there. He had been in forensics at that time for about 8 years. And he saw the first environment of the president's head at Bethesda, Maryland, where they did the autopsy. And it's Dr. Wick, Dr. Gerald Custer, Dr. McMillan, Dr. Knight, Dr. Cecil Walker, all 5
both parties.
Neurology specialists, they all said that was a massive exit wound. It blew out. So folks, I hope I give y'all some guidance to the truth. I thank you for listening. I just come down and tell people what I saw and heard. I don't sell anything. People give me little tips if you like. Thank you, sir. And I certainly hope I give you some guidance to the truth. If you do have one of Mr. Croden's books, my picture's in there on page 7, and I'd be glad to autograph it for you. Thank you very much. Certainly enjoyed meeting you. Thank you, sir. Enjoyed meeting all of you. Yeah. My picture's on page 7. I'll be glad to sign it for you there. And you just tell me where you already have it. I'll get yours next on page 7. There we go. That same picture's in the book.
This would be a cool picture, Miranda.
Where y'all from, sir? Kentucky. What part? Western part. Got some friends over in Harlan. Hadn't seen him. Yeah, they are. Yeah, he's been here. Hadn't seen him in a number of years. There you go. Yeah, they from Harlan County. Oh, yes, sir. Enjoyed meeting you, sir. Let me sign that for you. Where y'all from, sir?
Shreveport.
Ah, Shreveport. All right, sir. There you go. There's one. Let lady hold that one there.
And how old were you then?
I was 13, man, at the time of the assassination. And saw the puff of smoke from right here. Everybody saw the puff of smoke. The reason being, when the guy fired the shot, as you can see right here, Dave Wigman of NBC, so he jumped out of the press car. And Mr. Wigman pointed his camera up here. You see the puff of smoke right there.
Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense that Ruby had to kill him.
Yeah.
Because didn't do it over there. We took the tour over there and saw.
Yeah, and they lied. That plaque they got over and all that bull, man. 6th floor museum.
I remember reading a long time ago that Ruby was found just basically, well, later, I guess Lost his mind and was just rambling and scribbling over the same words.
They were
over
giving
and over.
him some sort of shots. Jack Ruby stayed in that jail right there. See that old county jail? He stayed there 3 years, 4 months, and 17 days. He died January the 3rd, 1967, at jail. But while he was in that jail, about a year after he was there, they began to inject him with some sort of shots. He complained about it, his family complained about it, and we all believe that they some way or another poisoned him and killed him. Because his mind did begin to deteriorate after the shots began.
Can I get a picture?
Yeah. Oh, yes, ma'am. Several people. Well, they did, but you must remember, many of those witnesses were murdered. Several witnesses were murdered. The ones that were back here. Yeah, they were all murdered. Just like it is right now.
So how about if they saw
Several witnesses saw it.
a gun?
Mhm.
They didn't say
They saw it.
anything.
Oh, they did. They did say something, but they were later murdered. Several witnesses. I'll show you in just a second. They were all murdered. Got it? Okay. See the window? That window right there? That building? And that window? That's where Mr. Bowers, Lee Bowers, he was right there in that window. And he saw it. Well, he told his story. And then after he told his story, Mr. Bowers, I see you booked that for a second. See Mr. Bowers, that's him right there. That's that same building. And Mr. Bowers was murdered August the 9th, 1966. See the convenient deaths of the witnesses? They were all murdered within that period of time. 2 years and 8 months. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, it was a mass conspiracy.
And the boy came down, hit the curb, hit Shane up, and smacked him right in the face. Here he is at the time.
Standing over there.
where the bullet hit. I stayed up and took a piece of his cheek out. He was actually very lucky. He had a bad day, but he lived. I knew the guy for about 25 years. He died 2 years ago of cancer. He's a heck of a nice guy. The governor of Texas, John Connally, is sitting right in front of us.